Today, let's pack together. Air Force is thinking of joining the American Conference, and the state of Illinois is dominating college football. This is American Game Day. Welcome to American Game Day. Today's Saturday, September 21st. I'm your host, Brayden Slater, and boy do I have a great show for you. I am back. Well, I didn't go anywhere, but the last couple of weeks I have been without internet, and I got it back. It's perfectly fine. I got speed up to 250 megabytes per second, so I am really hyped about that. But before we jump into this great show, we got a huge game today. It's the start of conference play today, and it's Texas versus Oklahoma. Alright, let's take a look at our weekday scoreboard recap. And if you were to believe Appalachian State lost to South Alabama, I'll be wrong. Appalachian State's only touchdown, well, I mean, they had two, but their first touchdown come from a Hail Mary before halftime. South Alabama won 48-14, and we have a doubleheader on Friday night between Stanford and Syracuse. Good game down there. There's the final score on that one, and another big one that I was paying very close attention to is Illinois and Nebraska. Huge Big Ten game. And once again, there's the final score of that one. And I try and get these recorded before I had the chance. So I've recorded before these games started. And then St. Joe State versus Washington State. How did Washington State respond after winning the Apple Cup? Well, there's your final score of that one. All right, let's look at our college football headlines for you. Let's look at UNLV. They're 3-0. They're 2-0 versus the Big 12 over Houston and Kansas. They're outscoring their opponents by 81 points. I mean, the only normal team the only team they didn't play, or really that they, Utah State. Yeah, I'll throw that out there. Nobody, but Houston. Okay, but nearly beat Oklahoma, and then Kansas, the front runner of the Big 12 right now. And look, their next three games, they got a tough schedule in the Mountain West. Fresno State and Syracuse up next. Dang, UNLV might be in the playoffs if they continue to win games like this. I mean, they got a tough schedule. And Air Force is thinking of joining the American Conference. And if this happens, still discussion, probably won't happen for a while. If it happens, all the military schools will all be the same conference. And if it happens, Air Force, Navy, and Army, they will all, when they play each other, they'll all be non-conference. Alright, and then look at the big, not so big noon kickoff. Has Marshall versus Ohio State this morning. Yeah. Over Utah versus Oklahoma State. Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the state of Illinois for us. Illinois is 3-0 in the Big 12. They are looking pretty good. And then Northern Illinois, they're 2-0. They knocked off Notre Dame. And guess what? Illinois has to deal with Michigan, who's having some quarterback issues right now. After winning the national championship last year, they don't know who to put at quarterback. I mean, they're for the game today. I forgot who they're. Oh, you're playing USC. To get ready for the game against USC, they're switching quarterbacks to their backup. All right, let's talk about the game of the week. Tennessee goes on the road to Oklahoma, 6:30 on ABC, and I'm sure some of y'all are not even watching this show live. I'm sure most of you are watching College Game Day because that's where they are right now. Yeah, it's going to be a huge game. Josh Heupel, is back in Norman for the last time since he coached out there. I'll talk about that later on. But Oklahoma's first home game playing an SEC opponent in their new conference. Yeah. Here we go. And it's their first SEC matchup. And they're get thrown at Tennessee, who is scoring 63 points per game, 300 yards per game, 226 yards per game. But they're slightly over the turnover margin. I'll take that. But Oklahoma has a hard time scoring, only 33 yards per game. But they are totally dominating the turnover chain right now. 8. They're winning the turnover by 8 right now. And then I'm not even going to pronounce his last name, but, Tennessee's quarterback. 72%. 698 yards this year. 6 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. Let's look at Jackson Arnold. Ooh, only 63%. Okay, not bad. 484 yards. Okay. 7 touchdowns. Only 2 interceptions. Okay, dude, look at that quarterback comparison. They're both not bad at all. Jackson Arnold's not bad. So what's the problem with Oklahoma's offense? It's the offensive line. I'll talk about that later on when I get to the Oklahoma segment. But let's talk about around the conference. Starting with the ACC. James Madison goes on the road to an ACC team. North Carolina, 11 o'clock on the ACC network. Yeah, this is going to be a really big game because I have kind of James Madison on the Group of 5 hype right now. Cinderella race. Ooh, I need to bring back my Cinderella race. I haven't talked about that quite in a while. And then California. This is an ACC matchup. California versus Florida State. 6 o'clock on ESPN2. And some notable games around the conference. NC State goes on the road to Clemson. Gonna be a good one. How can Dabo Swinney react after not using the trade portal? And Georgia Tech, after knocking out Florida State, ending their season pretty quickly, they go on the road to Louisville, who's having kind of a quiet year. They're winning games. They're ranked. Just no one's talking about them. If they win that game, people will start talking about them a lot more. And then TCU goes to play SMU now. Yeah, can you believe that SMU's in the ACC now, too? I am never going to get used to this. And then Michigan State versus Boston College. Going to be a good one. Let's take a look at the top of the ACC. Miami is clearly number 1 team in the ACC right now. Miami's got South Florida later today, so don't sleep on South Florida. Nearly took out Alabama until the 4th quarter. I'll talk about that later on in the Group of 5 segment. But California. Yeah, California is in a race to win the conference. The ACC, but they're in the race to win it. But they got Louisville in the way, too. Looking at the Big Ten, USC versus Michigan, a ranked game for you. This one's going to be quite a matchup because USC will run the ball all over Michigan. They're not paying attention. And Iowa finally looking like a decent college football offense now. Their defense actually, could be better. It's good. It's just not Iowa good, but will it be enough to beat Minnesota? And then Vanderbilt, I always forget that they play football, but they're 3-0, and they're playing Maryland. Gonna be a big game on the Big Ten Network. And Northwestern goes on the road to Washington. Gonna be a big one as well. Ohio State, to me, is the clear number 1 right now, but you never know. There could be some setbacks there, but Illinois, Oregon, Penn State, and USC are clearly in the race to go to the Big Ten championship game right now. So, yeah, a lot going on in the Big Ten. All right, let's take a look at the Big 12. I don't know how Big Noon Kickoff didn't go to this game, but, yeah. At 3 o'clock on Fox, it's Utah versus Oklahoma State. This will very likely impact not only the playoffs, but the Big 12. Because very likely these two teams could face each other, or the winner of this game could face Kansas State in the Big 12 championship game. But let's look at the stats. They're both scoring over 40 points per game. They're both almost averaging 230 yards. I mean, Utah totally killing it in rushing, but, kind of surprising that, they have Ollie Gordon, the Heisman race for running back, and, they're losing and rushing. Yikes, not a good look for Ollie Gordon and Oklahoma State right there. But they're at home, good test. K-State versus BYU. Yep, 9:30 ESPN, late game. See if Kansas State can get used to playing these late games now with these new Big 12 members now. And Houston goes on the road to Cincinnati. How is Houston? I want to see how Houston. Cincinnati is a good team. I think they'll be able to pull off some pretty big upset at the Big 12. Houston, I think they can as well, and a really good test to see, are they really at the bottom of the Big 12, or can they pull off a big upset on the road? And then Arizona State versus Texas Tech, 2:30 in FS1. That is going to be a big game as well, and for some reason I put the TCU and SNU game back in here, even though SNU is ACC and they're home, so I guess I need to throw another team. I don't know. Graphic glitch anyway. I don't know why I threw that back in there. Vanderbilt versus Minnesota at 3:15, the SEC Network. I don't think I ever expected to put this game on here preseason-wise. But here we are. I know Vanderbilt did lose last week unexpectedly, but how can they respond against a really talented Missouri team? And then UCLA versus LSU, 2:30 on ABC. This one's going to be quite a matchup. No, it's not. LSU's going to completely annihilate them. And then Arkansas versus Auburn. Looking forward to that one because the loser will probably be mid-level SEC. The winner got a shot. Not at the SEC, but if they were in another conference, they have a shot at winning another conference. Probably the ACC or the Big 12. Not even the Big 12, probably the ACC. Anyway, Georgia Southern versus Ole Miss. Another cupcake Ole Miss is playing. Can you believe Wake Forest was a cupcake for them last week? And then Louisiana Monroe. I'll talk about them playing Texas later on in the Texas segment. But Ole Miss is clear to me right now. They're at the top of the SEC. And Texas is number one. I have Ole Miss over Texas in the SEC standing. But in my ranking, in the AP ranking, Texas is clearly number one. So, yeah, I know it's a bit confusing, but we're in conference play now, so teams will start to stand out more. And then look at the Pac-12. The Pac-12's got like one game today. Yeah, they just got two teams. One team, I think, played last night. Yeah, Oregon State. But 7:30 on the CW. Purdue is playing Oregon State on the road. Yeah, Oregon State, I think they can pull off this upset. I really do think that they can pull off this upset. It's going to be close, but I think they can. All right, let's look at the group of five. Memphis is on the road. They're 3-0 at the top of the group of five right now. And they're playing Navy, so yeah, military team. Get ready for that. 2:30 on CBS Sports Network. Navy's 2-0. If they win this game, I might start talking more about Navy more often. Maybe I should start doing a military school segment if they all start playing really well. But, yeah, Eastern Carolina versus Liberty. Gotta be a good game. Good, really true test for Liberty because I've been keeping an eye on Liberty right there. And then Miami at number 8 playing South Florida. Yeah, South Florida nearly took Alabama until the fourth quarter. Yeah, ignored that score from a couple weeks ago. South Florida, not bad. Good test for Miami on the road. Toledo totally 41-7 over Mississippi State last week. They're on the road to Western Kentucky, so we'll see how well that turns out. But, yeah, let's take a look at the top teams in the group of five. Basically, I'm calling this the race to the playoffs. Boise State, Coastal Carolina, UNLV, James Madison, and Memphis is all up there on the race for the 12th seed in the playoff. And look, I have this in order from my rankings. You could also throw Liberty in there as well. I only have 5 spots, this graphic for 5 teams, but there are a couple more group of 5 teams to look after. But I think as we go the next couple of weeks, it will start to narrow down. But in case you're wondering, the group of 5 is not at the bottom of I'm kind of including the group of 5 together as a whole as a one giant super conference. So how are they competing against the Power 4? Top of the conference, the SEC is number 1 right now. The group of 5 is number 2. All right? We're tied with the Big 12, but just because UNLV is 2-0 over the Big 12, they get the edge at number 2. And the ACC and the Big 10 is tied at 4. And for some reason, I just have a slight edge with ACC right now. I don't know why I have them over the Big 10, but anyway, they're kind of really both at 4. Ignore that Big 10's at 5. They're both tied at 4. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, let's look at the AP playoff bracket for us. Alright, Northern Illinois, yeah, they have them at 12. They have her as the highest group of 5 team right now. Playing Georgia. Georgia, for sure, winning that game. 100%. Michigan versus Tennessee. That is going to be quite a matchup, and it all depends on how Tennessee plays tonight. And also, how does Missouri play Vanderbilt? It's going to be a really good test to see how that do. I actually am siding with Tennessee to win this game. Penn State versus Alabama. I think we'll finally... Penn State's not really a good postseason team, but I think we'll finally get a W for Penn State here. So give me Penn State over Alabama. And then Ole Miss, I think Ole Miss is beating Oregon. And then we got Georgia versus Utah. I think Georgia could beat Utah. I think Texas could beat Tennessee. Miami is going to beat Penn State. And I got Ole Miss beating Ohio State. And then we got Georgia versus Texas. I'm siding with Georgia here. I think Georgia will respond after nearly losing to Kentucky very well. I think Miami is going to beat Ohio State right now. I think Miami can beat Ole Miss. I really do. It'll be a close game. It will be close. But if Miami wins, Georgia's winning the whole thing. But if Ohio State beats Miami, not Ohio State. But if Ole Miss beats Miami, Ole Miss is winning the whole thing. Yeah, I think Ole Miss could beat Georgia, but I think Georgia could beat Miami. So that's really how my championship plays out, but based off that bracket. But let's look at the NFL headlines. Tagovailoa has had yet another concussion, out for 4 to 6 weeks. He should just retire. Get him out of here. I talked more about that on Down and Distance. You want to go back to that show. I did a good breakdown of that. We had some football on Thursday night. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, probably the best Aaron Rodgers I've seen in a long time. He had an MVP game, basically. He was very mobile, putting up a big win over the Patriots, 24-3. Been a while since the Jets beat the Patriots, too, at home. And let's look at our notable games for the NFL on Sunday tomorrow. Texans versus Minnesota. The Vikings are both 2-0. And how are the Eagles responding after a surprising comeback by the Falcons on a Monday Night Football against the Saints, who completely demolished the Cowboys? And the Chargers versus the Steelers is going to be a good one. And can the Falcons do it again? They're at home against a championship caliber Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They struggled the last couple weeks, but let's see how they do. Speaking of that game, let's go deeper into that game. 7:20 on NBC. Going to be a really good challenge for the Chiefs, because they had the officials kind of helped them slightly, like they always do. Not as much they usually do, but they did help them. But are they going to help them with this, as they beat the Eagles 22-21, as the Falcons are now 1-1. Yeah. Going to be quite a game for the Falcons. I don't see them winning the game at all. I think the Chiefs are winning. All right, the Cowboys, 3:25 on Fox. They're hosting the Raiders. Gonna be a good game. How are the Cowboys gonna respond after losing to the Saints pretty badly? It was not even close. But Lamar Jackson, they're 0-2 right now. He's 63% with 520 yards. And just 2 weeks. Not bad. Not bad. He's got 2 touchdowns and 1 interceptions. All right, back to college football. Kansas versus Washington State. Washington State, what? Where did I get that? It's West Virginia. Where did I get Washington State from? I don't know, but give me West Virginia to win this game. I really don't have much to talk about Kansas except for they're letting me down. I was expecting to talk a lot about Kansas this year. So far, they haven't given me a reason to. I mean, West Virginia did lose to Pitt close, and Pitt is good. Pitt is good, too. All right, now on to this game. All right, I'm ready for this. SEC battle. 3-0 Tennessee. 3-0 Oklahoma. Number 6 versus number 15. 6:30 prime time on ABC. Yeah, well, I don't know why I said the C like that, but ABC. Yeah, why does ABC sound weird? I don't know. But, yeah, let's take a look at their Oklahoma's opponent. Tennessee, they're outscoring their opponents by 178 points. Josh Heupel's coming back in town. Former coach for Oklahoma. Not even just a coach. He was the quarterback for Oklahoma the last time Oklahoma won the national championship in 2000. It's been that long for Oklahoma. Yeah, and he's back in town, and he's facing a former coach he used to work with, Brett Venables. So, they're both the head coach now, facing each other. First time Josh Heupel said he's been on the opposing sideline at that stadium. But, yeah, look at this stat right here. Yeah, this is who Tennessee's going to have to play. They have a really strong offense, but Oklahoma bringing the defense. Danny Stutman. He's going to be the player to look out for Tennessee's offense for sure. All right, Oklahoma State time. Let's see, 3 o'clock on Fox. Yeah, sadly it's not on the big noon kickoff, but at least it's getting some afternoon spotlight from the Big 12, I guess. I don't know. But Utah versus Oklahoma State could possibly be the Big 12 championship game. Number 12 versus 14. And Utah is going to have a hard time. This is their first Big 12 game, too. And they're heading to Oklahoma State. That is not a place you want to play at, for sure. I mean, Utah, they struggled last week to their rival Utah State. Now, they were out without Cam Rising. He is supposedly back for this game, but they still beat Utah State 38-21, my bad. But they'll have to deal with Ollie Gordon. Now, he's not having the success he had last year. Definitely not the Heisman we expected, but he's still 216 yards, average 3 yards per play. His longest run with 22 yards, and he's got 4 touchdowns. Now on to Texas, here we go. 7 o'clock, ESPN Plus, Louisiana Monroe versus Texas. They're both undefeated. Texas is number 1. Are they going to be looking at that number 1 thinking, yeah, we're number 1 in the country. We could beat any team now. But don't sleep on Louisiana Monroe. They have wins over Jackson State and UAB. They're not bad at all in their conference. And I guess he's the starting QB, General Booty for Louisiana Monroe. Yeah, he was 3rd string at Oklahoma last year. And you know that Oklahoma is really good at producing quarterbacks, especially the backups. So, going to be quite a test for them. And he can't wait to go down there and play Texas. He's been waiting his whole life for that game. I think he trained for there just because Texas is on their schedule, I'm sure. But Arch Manning, he's passing 78%, 318 yards. He's got 5 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, and he will be starting in that game as well with a Ken Ewers supposedly non-contact injury. He's definitely out for this game. And Tulsa versus Louisiana Tech. Not much to say about this game, but Tulsa's let me down. I mean, not really. I expect them to not be that great this year, but still. Come on, give me something to talk about. But Louisiana Tech is winning this game. But I think Louisiana Tech, yeah, is winning this game, yeah. But they both could possibly be at the bottom of their conference. Yeah. Louisiana Tech is in the Conference USA. They're gonna that Tulsa's in the American Conference. Yeah. All right. Now time for the underdog game of the week 4. I am 2-1. I got a loss last week, but I'm looking to redeem myself. Boston College is a 6.5 point favorite. I really like what Michigan State is doing right now. They are playing really well. They're 3-0 right now. So give me Boston. I almost said Boston State. Give me Michigan State to win this game. Not only win this game, but cover. Well, I kind of said it backwards. Not only cover this game, but win it. Yeah, that's what I'm doing my underdog. Not only cover, but win the game as an underdog. But EA Sports, they had Boston College winning by 30 points. Wow. So we'll see who really the true winner is by next week. All right. It's now time for the option! Starting with NC State versus Clemson. 11 a.m. kickoff on ABC. Yeah, just under 40 minutes away. Yeah. Clemson is somehow still ranked at 21. Dabo Swinney still refusing to use the transport portal. But give me Clemson. Clemson is winning this ballgame. Don't count me out on it. They're at home. But on to Jaden Madison in North Carolina we go. On the ACC network, it's going to be bright and sunny day, 76 degrees, perfect football weather for fans. It might be a little hot for the players, but still, it's going to be nice down there in North Carolina. We both had North Carolina winning this game, so sorry, James Madison. I think your Group of 5 race is going to be over for the playoff. I don't know. You could probably still win the Sun Belt, possibly. Maybe. I don't know. But Georgia Tech versus Louisville, 2:30 ESPN 2. This is going to be a hot day in Louisville. I have been back and forth in this game, but Louisville hasn't had much to talk about. If they win this game, I think they'll finally get the respect they deserve. And then Arizona State and Texas State. This is a Big 12 matchup. 2:30 on FS1. Could you believe that? It's going to be hot down there in Texas down there for sure. Arizona State is used to that heat. In fact, they're used to even hotter. But I think Texas State is gonna give them a rude awakening for saying, welcome to the Big 12. We're going to beat ya. And then California versus Florida State. Yeah, this is also an ACC game, believe it or not. And California is 3-0. What? And Florida State is 0-3. What is going on in football this year? Oh, yeah. I think Florida State is actually finally going to win a football game this year. Sorry, California, but your Cinderella race is over. Florida State is winning this ball game. And then on to Kansas State versus BYU. Late kickoff, 9:30 ESPN. Kansas State, get used to it. But, I mean, it's going to be nice weather. Late, but it's going to be nice. Nice football weather to play in. But I think BYU, will be probably leading most of this game, probably into the third quarter. And then Kansas State will be like, boom, here. In the fourth quarter, completely blow them out in the fourth quarter and win the ball game. USC versus Michigan, gonna be a big one in the Big Ten. I don't know who's gonna win this game. I still don't know if Michigan really like this bad or is USC really this good. I don't know, but I'm gonna go with USC on the road in this one. EA Sports got Michigan. So, we're on two different sides here, but we'll figure it out in just a couple hours. Utah versus Oklahoma State, another big game this afternoon. I am going with Oklahoma State at home this time. Utah, Cam Rising, he's going to struggle with that crowd noise. That's all I got to say. Oklahoma State only wins with the crowd noise. Yeah, the Stadium Pulse is going to be at top 5 for that game. Time for another EA Sports College Football 25 sim. This time it's our game of the week. Texas versus Oklahoma. Gonna be a big matchup. Is Tennessee gonna blow out Oklahoma like all the experts say? Well, for Oklahoma's first drive, Jackson Arnold throws an interception on a 3rd and 5. But here we go. Tennessee on a big 3rd and 5. He throws it deep. He's got an open man all the way inside the 5. Tennessee's got 1st and goal on their opening drive. And he finds a wide open man inside the red zone. Tennessee goes up 7-0 early on. But what does Oklahoma have in store for them? They go down the field pretty quickly. They're in field goal range. 2nd and 7, and he fumbles the ball again. Once again, another turnover by the Sooners. They force a 3 and out. Get the ball back. Jackson Arnold's going deep. He's got a man. All right, and he's inside the field goal. But here we go. On to the 3rd quarter. They end up just kicking a couple field goals in the 3rd quarter. So on to the 2nd half we go. And first play for Tennessee out of the 2nd half. Throws an interception right to Oklahoma, and Oklahoma executes right down the line. Touchdown, Oklahoma, to take their first lead of the game. But here comes Tennessee going deep, heading down the field on a 2nd and 6. Here we go. He's looking for his man. He's got an open man inside the middle of the field. He's in Oklahoma's territory in the red zone. He's throwing at the end zone, and he's got an open man, and he's got it. They ruled him down with the 1. So here we go. 1st and goal, Tennessee, and he is in. Touchdown. They reclaim the lead, but Oklahoma not done yet. Working their way down the field inside the goal line. 2nd and goal. Here they come. Sawchuk right up the middle. Easy touchdown for the Sooners. Now on to the 4th quarter. This is when it really gets crazy. I think the defense just gave up, or the offense just really settled in. But Tennessee had a miscommunication here, or a just not smart move. They had Oklahoma kicking it a long punt on a 4th and 14, and they roughed the punter. You can't do that, Tennessee. But anyway, OU executes this on a beautiful pass. This is NFL pass right here. He's got both feet in, and he rolls that right out of bounds. What a catch. 3rd and goal, same drive. He finds an open man, and he does some weird crawl. Oh, no, OU's like really got some crazy celebrations here on that drive. But then Tennessee on 3rd and 10. How does Tennessee respond? Just like that. What is this got to be? Like an 80-yard touchdown for Tennessee? Boy, oh boy, are Tennessee not done yet. They force a 3 and out. Tennessee gets the ball back. He drops back to pass. He finds a wide open man in the middle of the field. He's inside the red zone now. Here we go. 8 minutes left the game. He's going to hand it off. He jukes a man, and he is in the end zone just like that. Tennessee's back in the game with the lead. They forced a 3 and out again. Tennessee's got the ball back, and here it comes. Danny Stuntman with the safety. But OU's still not in the lead yet, but here we go. Let's throw it to Burks for an easy touchdown down the field. Oklahoma at the lead, 36-31. Does Tennessee have any miracle left with 3 minutes left? They do, kind of, but here we go. 1st and goal. He's looking for an open man, and he underthrew him. Interception. Oklahoma is going to win this ball game on a crazy upset, 36-31. I don't think anyone expected this upset at all in this game, not alone win the game for the Sooners. And then on to our game of the week. Josh Heupel versus Brett Venables. 6:30 ABC. Number 6 Tennessee versus number 15 Oklahoma. It's going to be a big game. It's going to be hot down there. But with the sun going down, primetime game, I think it will be turn actually pretty nice for the fans. Maybe a little hot for the players. This is a really tough decision for me. EA Sports actually has Oklahoma winning this game. I'm Oklahoma a bit biased, but I'm sorry, Oklahoma fans. As much as I want to pick OU, we're not winning. I'm picking Tennessee to win this game. All right. I'll see you all next Saturday at 10 a.m.